Happy Friday! Okay, welcome back. So I was telling you in our Instagram stories that every Friday we're going to either be talking about our homemade pizza or we're going to be talking our homemade bread. So today, because she's with me, I thought it would be fun to show the homemade naan bread. It's super good. And I feel like she now has been the pro, but after watching this, I actually think I'm going to be the next pro on this.
No, Lizi,
this is good. This is seriously good. So you need to do it. And I know I talk about these every single day, but you need to purchase these because we are so into copper, and I can't stop using these. Wait, I don't know. Don't you love the way they like you mix everything in them?
I love them.
They're amazing.
Yes, I love them.
Okay, so we're just gonna slowly talk about the process of this. Okay, so go, Mom. If you have any questions, ask us.
We're gonna make this together because that's what's so much fun. I'm here and we're having so much fun.
They're only $39. I'm gonna do a link again. Show the 3 sizes one more time. I've never shown the 3 sizes.
Yeah, they're so cute.
For $39, do you know that Williams-Sonoma has this exact set and it's like a couple of hundred? So they are nice.
It's probably better quality, but these are super good.
But hand wash them. Don't put them in the dishwasher. Yeah. But you need these in your life.
We're loving these.
We are loving them. I'm serious. Like, I can't stop using them.
And we're going to show you anything that we find that's new, that we love.
Yeah, constantly.
We'll bring out our old stuff.
Yeah.
And we'll constantly be finding new stuff.
Because we have our old favorites and then we get new favorites. So
we've been doing a lot of talking into the night last night about what we want to do in the future and about new recipes, and we've got so many fun things to show and share, but we just can't do it all at once, even though we try to.
Yeah.
So let's do the naan bread today. Everybody's been to their favorite Indian restaurant.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just fun to go to an Indian restaurant, and I think for me, Lizzie, I don't know about you, but the thing that I love the most is the real big poofy bread that comes to us.
Yeah.
Now we're not making that one. We're actually making the naan. But you know
what I love about it? Even though you would normally get this at an Indian restaurant, I love that she's telling you to serve it with a salad, with anything. It doesn't have to. This is not like.
No, there's so many Indian dishes that are like a few of our dishes, or with salad, or just vegetables. For those that are vegetarian, just vegetables. And the naan bread is just so easy and it's so delicious. So take yourself back right now to your favorite Indian restaurant, and one of the most things that we love the most is the bread that is served. So let's start out with a cup of warm water, which we already have got. And then Lizzie, go ahead and show our yeast.
Okay.
For our new people.
We get the yeast question a lot. I feel like I'm DMing somebody about they're so afraid of yeast. You don't need to be afraid of it. But our all-time favorite, like I've said a million times, is the Red Star yeast. You get this at Costco. It's $4 for this massive bag. But what's great that they don't know is you can double baggy this and put it in the freezer, which keeps it good for up to 2 years.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So that's unbelievable. But what's so important, you do that well, but it's the water, Mom.
Yeah.
Tell them how it's the water, the temperature.
It doesn't have to be the perfect temperature. It just needs to be lukewarm. Sometimes a little bit warmer, but anything at 120 is too hot. I mean, anything near 120 is just too hot. But Lizzie likes to use her wrist like she's testing a baby's warm milk. And that's perfect.
That's the perfect way that I can explain it, unless you want to get out the thermometer like she says.
And go from 100 to 115.
Yeah.
Anything in that area. So we have our tablespoon of yeast, and now
Someone said they put their yeast in Costco in a mason jar and keep it in the freezer.
Wow, I even love that.
Yeah.
That's even better.
Yeah,
Because
that's even probably smarter.
I think that's even smarter because the thing is you never want that yeast to spill in your freezer.
No, you don't.
You need a vacuum, a heavy-duty vacuum to vacuum that up.
So tell them how you just folded it in there.
Yeah.
It's not a serious mix. It's just like a fold over.
We don't want to stir
No.
and stir and stir. I actually just did that without thinking. I'm just folding the sugar, a teaspoon of sugar, a tablespoon of yeast into this warm water. And then we like to cover it with a little saucer, anything that you have that will cover it to just sort of keep the warmth in while we let it foam up, bubble up. And then we actually turned our oven on today because it was a little chilly. It was snowing here yesterday.
Yeah.
And so it got a little chilly in the night.
It's cold in the kitchen.
And it was cold. So we turned Lizzie's fire on and then we turned her oven on because we need 72 degrees whenever we work with yeast. So our bread will come up nicely. So we have our yeast and our sugar together, and that's going to come up in just a few minutes. Then we're going to go over to our bowl and just hand me
A wooden spoon.
yeah, a wooden spoon, which these are our favorite.
Our favorite spoons
in the
that
world.
are from Sur La Table.
Sur La Table,
The
our
best,
favorite in the world.
Best wooden spoons.
So now we're going to take 3 tablespoons of
Milk.
It's actually 3.5 tablespoons of sugar.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 3.5 tablespoons of sugar, and 2 teaspoons of our French salt, coarse salt. If you don't have our French salt yet, it's amazing. It'll change your
Where
life.
did you guys get this naan recipe from?
This is something I travel, do a lot of traveling, and I've been experimenting with roti. I'm so glad you asked that question because roti is the true Indian bread, and it's R-O-T-I. And I was in Washington, D.C., and I met the most beautiful Indian woman from India. And she taught me in her own kitchen years ago how to make roti. And that's made with the special, and actually on this page in our book. So this is on page 239 in the second book. I actually tell you about roti and what you need to make the authentic roti, which you need the Indian brand wheat flour. And I just go down to my nearest Indian store, which is not very far from me, and I buy the Indian wheat flour. And it's so easy, it's super inexpensive if you actually want to make the roti. And I know a lot of you out there who know about Indian style cooking, you know what roti is. And if we have any Indian people actually from India, they're probably thinking, okay, the naan is a little more Americanized, but I do the true roti, and it's made with 100% Indian wheat, and then you just roll it out into a circle about like this, and you cook it the same way as we're going to cook the naan.
Okay.
But anyway, it's
where
fabulous.
did you get it though? You didn't say
So
where you got
I
it.
got this, so I learned this recipe from this woman
Enough
in
roti.
DC. Right, and so she showed me how to do the naan, and I adapted it to myself so it would be easier for us to do in our kitchens. And
She
we're actually
says she
using-
loves how you say the roti. She's Indian.
Oh, how do you say it?
She says it's really cute, guys.
Oh, thank you.
We don't say things right. Whatever. Okay, we
But
already
I
know
knew,
it.
but at least I knew. And so, right? So that is important. I've always wanted to know how to do that. So years ago, this darling woman actually taught me how to do it in Washington, D.C.
Okay, so
So now we're going to add the milk, and it's 3 tablespoons of milk. Lizzie, catch me if I miss any ingredient. I don't want to. We have one egg that's already been beaten, and we're going to add that, 1 beaten egg. And then our soda, which is 1/2 of a teaspoon. So this is 1/4. So we'll take 2 of those of soda. And I think we have everything in here but the flour.
So now it says turn in the yeast mixture and
Right,
the flour.
Right, and that's what we're going to do. Yeah, so let's check our yeast. It's perfect. See how it's come up already? This is good to go. It's
Perfect
a nice
yeast, love it.
foam on it. It's perfect. The sugar gives it a little bit of and if you ever are working with a recipe in one of our books that doesn't call for a little bit of sugar, like in our pizza dough, a little bit of sugar to help the
Add a
yeast,
little bit to it.
just add a teeny bit to it if you have trouble, if you have any kind of trouble. Okay, now we're going to add this, and then we'll just add our flour. Now, you've probably noticed that there's an ingredient that we haven't added. I call it a preservative. And when we're making our French baguettes, it's the same way.
Yeah.
And you know what that ingredient is. It's no oil or no butter. That's a preservative when we put it into our breads. But we don't have a preservative going into this bread, just like our French baguettes. There's no preservative. So what does that mean? What does that boil down to? It basically means that it's best
Oh, sorry, I was gonna get this again.
It's best eaten
The day
of.
Okay, our
Yeah.
favorite yeast is called Red Star. I'll just show this. Take a
Red
screenshot
Star
of it.
active dry yeast.
This is our absolute
best.
favorite, the best.
The best.
Okay.
Okay, now we're going to add the flour. And this is just our regular all-purpose flour. It's going to be up to 4 to 4.5 cups.
Yeah.
But just like when we show you how to make bread, we're going to go easy on the flour because you just never know how much you need. And Lizzie, what's our rule?
When it starts coming away from the bowl, that's how you know it's done.
That's how you know we have enough
Costco
flour.
or the store? Costco. It's the only, isn't it the only place you've seen it? Well, I mean,
Well,
you can buy it online.
Yeah,
you could find Red Star online.
Oh yes, I think
But-
Sam's Club maybe has it, and
It's just, you get a better deal when it's at Costco.
and in that package you get a much better deal because if you buy it in the long strips, you pay so much money. And
She said she does agree. She said, somebody said they've been making bread forever, but after hearing it, they went and bought the Red Star and love it.
oh good.
Oh, Walmart has Red Star. Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
Walmart's starting to have everything.
Yeah, they really are. They're now carrying our favorite tomatoes.
I was just gonna say that.
I mean, it's
they have our
crazy.
favorite butter. Our favorite butter now, which
Yeah.
is Land O'Lakes. I think they even carry Kerrygold now. But Land O'Lakes will change your baking.
Oh, change everything.
Yeah,
Your cookies, your
Here in
everything.
America,
Baked.
I love Land O'Lakes for here in America. In Europe, I like President's Brand and I love Kerrygold. But here in America, it's a
Well,
better
they have
deal.
Kerrygold here too.
I know, but it's expensive.
Yeah.
It's super expensive. And if you get the Land O'Lakes at Walmart, you're going to get a really good price.
Yeah.
And also when it goes on sale.
When it goes on sale, stock up.
So through the years.
That's what I like to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And through the years when you're on a budget and you're trying to do budget friendly with butter, especially so many people buy the Kirtland.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm telling you, the Land O'Lakes makes all the difference.
Well, it's like
in
everything,
baking.
like I said, your tomatoes, your sauces, your cheeses. I mean, everything just makes the quality of taste so much better.
So,
If it doesn't have preservatives, can you freeze the bread for later?
yes, you can, just like the French baguettes. And then you would get them out and
But when you don't have preservatives, it is best eaten the day of. That is the best. So this bread is the best the day of. The baguettes the day of.
I guarantee you, every Indian restaurant and in every Indian home, whether they're making the true authentic roti or they're making this, they're throwing it almost away. Unless they've got a recipe.
But yes, you can freeze it. I freeze the baguettes all the time. I don't
Yes.
make the
Oh,
non
they're
bread,
so
but
good.
it's so good
They're
frozen.
so
You
good.
can pull it out and it's great.
They'll freeze up to 2 months.
Yes, these are from Costco. Our friend Darcy, we have to give her the credit. She found them and said, you need to buy these, and they are our absolute favorite thing right now.
And we love giving credit to anybody who
We love you,
gives us a
Darcy,
great
if you're
idea.
watching.
Anybody who gives us a great idea, we share it. And we share
Can you freeze the butter? I've tried, and then when I took it out, it was crumbly and icky. Should I put the butter in a baggie instead of just leaving it in the box it
Do
came
you
in?
know that someone not too long ago said, Liz, aren't you freezing your butter? And I said, I heard that if you froze butter, it changed the taste. And they said, no, not on butter. I honestly am not freezing it now. I am, I have for years, and I didn't notice it that much, but maybe just a little. So I'm really not. Right now,
How long can butter last in the fridge then if you don't freeze it?
A long time.
Right?
A
while.
long time.
Yeah.
Look at the expiry. It's a long time. So I'm kneading this dough. We've added just over 3 cups. It calls for 4 to 4.5 if you should need it. But I'm actually we're doing really good here with just over 3.
So she's just kneading this by hand for like what? Really 5 minutes?
Just because it's
this is an arm workout. 5 minutes of
you
kneading
can do
the bread.
this in a Bosch or your KitchenAid with the dough hook. You can do that perfectly fine, and you'll probably need a little more flour if you do. We show everything by hand because so many of our followers don't have a Bosch or a KitchenAid, and quite frankly, you know, when
we
you
wanted
start
to
out,
appeal to everybody, and like I always try to say, when I was in college, I had nothing, and so she was like, "You're gonna learn how to make this by hand before you go off to college," and I really, because I didn't have the money for any of it.
No.
And so, and slowly you have to add these things into your kitchen.
But it's best to know by hand.
But it is good by hand. You get a better feel for it. That's when I think that everybody adds too much dough, because when you're actually making it in the Bosch and stuff, I think that's when you get harder bread. You're not getting the feel of it by hand and playing with it. So we really are obsessed with doing it by hand.
And most of the time, to tell you the truth, now that it's just my husband and I at home, I'm doing it all by hand.
Yeah.
Because getting out the big mixer, unless I'm making a huge batch.
Unless you're doing the Italian bread, right?
Sure, but I can even do it by hand.
Yeah, but do you always?
No, not always. Okay, so this feels really good.
This is amazing.
We won't need to add any more
We've
flour
done it
to
into
that.
different steps too, so it's not like
we won't need to add more flour to that at all.
Feels great.
We're just gonna put a little bit of olive oil or spray, whatever you have in here, and then we're going to cover it with a damp towel. Okay?
Okay, but show them what you mean by damp.
Okay, so basically we just took this towel over to the sink and we just wet it a little. We just got it a little bit wet.
A little wet.
And then we're just going to cover it. Now we have one. So you're going to let that rise for 30 minutes, okay?
That's so nice. Somebody said, I'm a new follower. I'm super excited to learn your tips and tricks. Thank you for finding ways to bring families together. And I loved your table setting yesterday.
I'm so glad.
That's so nice.
Oh, I'm so glad. That was really fun for us.
That was really fun.
It was so much fun. Now we have.
We just love when we're together. How should the dough feel?
It's really. Let's look at it again. It's firm but soft, but it's substantial. It
is a little firmer than normal dough, but it's still pliable.
Yeah, we followed our rules. When it comes away from the sides of the bowl, we know we have enough flour, and then when we're kneading it and it's not taking any more flour off your countertop or your breadboard or wherever it is you're kneading it, then again we know we have enough flour. The biggest mistake that every single person makes is they add way too much flour to the bread, and that's why it doesn't turn out. That's why
because most of the time, all most people do is they add the full amount that the recipe calls for. So they're like, oh, if it calls for 4.5 cups, then I'm adding 4.5 cups. But you never, ever do that ever when you're dealing with bread, flour,
everything. Our French baguettes are probably the most true to the recipe because we're adding up to 1 more cup water in that one, and it usually does take all of the flour.
Not all the time,
but not all the time. But not all the time. We live in super dry climates.
Okay, they're saying you do a damp cloth. Why the damp cloth?
For this recipe, that's just the way.
This recipe.
That's just the way the Indian girls showed me how to do this recipe. So this is what I'm doing. So it's really fun, and it takes you right back to when it's so authentic because This is the way she showed me how to do it. Now let's show you this dough that has already risen.
So nice. Everybody's saying nice things.
Oh, that's
they
so
met
nice.
you a long time ago.
Thank you. So the dough is risen, and I almost started to punch it down before I showed it to you. So this dough is risen for 30
But what does the down
minutes.
clock do, they're saying?
It keeps it moist, so it's not going to get hard at all. And it's just a nice cover to cover it and to keep it moist. But you could also use plastic wrap and spray a little bit of spray on the plastic wrap and put it on top. But this is just the way I was taught to do it a long time ago.
Okay, so show. So this has been rising for how long?
So this is 30 minutes.
Okay,
so
30 minutes.
Now we're taking it out, and like I say, it wouldn't rise up that well unless we had our kitchen nice and warm.
It's nice and toasty in here. She likes everything so hot too, by the way. She is a warm-blooded,
Yeah.
like a lizard.
So we have our dough right here. Now, if you want to, right now you can add like fresh garlic to this. And I guarantee you, for those who go to an Indian restaurant, you're seeing you can either get it with garlic or a special herb worked into your naan bread. And so I'm going to show you what to do. So over here we have some fresh garlic right here, and we're going to mince it up super good, right, like this. Mince it up super good, and it's just 1 clove to this amount of dough.
And talking about favorite things, this cutting board from IKEA is one of our favorite things.
It sure is.
You need to go get it. Their cutting boards are really great.
I actually found this cutting board in Germany.
Yeah. And then I went to visit her, and I'm like, "What is that cutting board?"
Yeah, it's just
Great.
it's just a great one.
Okay.
So here we have our diced up fresh garlic, and we're just gonna put it into the dough like that, just like that. And then we're going to knead it in. So do you like
Why
it
do we
with
do the fresh garlic?
do you like it with the fresh garlic, Lizzie?
Yeah, I do.
I think it's good. A lot of people hate garlic.
What
So
are your favorite knives, Mom?
my favorite knives are the Wuschka, and those are from Germany. And another favorite is this one, and it's global. It's from Japan. I love this one. I love the Wuschka. Those are my 2 favorites.
Oh, I know the salt makes all the difference. We're actually going to do a little highlight that's going to stay on our Instagram page. I'm making her do it because we want every new follower to know about that salt and talk about, anyways.
Some of our staple
Why are the
ingredients.
s'more bars so good, they said.
Oh, those are so good. Okay, so now we have our.
Okay, show.
You can see a little chunks of garlic.
They're saying,
in
what
there.
about roasted garlic?
Sure. Yeah. So now we're ready to make the balls.
Our favorite pizzas. We're talking about pizzas in a minute.
Yes,
so
we're going to talk about pizza in a minute.
Don't go away.
So what we do, the recipe says to make around 9 balls. This is going to make it. I'm going to show you what I mean by a ball. So we're just going to pinch a little bit off like this, like that, and roll it into a ball. And then I already have some here ready that are all ready to be rolled out, our balls. So we're going to pinch off, and then we're going to set them right like this on a cookie sheet that's already been sprayed with oil, and then we just set them for them to rise. Okay, so let me come back to
How
here.
long do they rise for again?
About 30 minutes, especially if your kitchen is warm. So we'll pinch about this size. It says a tennis ball, but in a couple of seconds they're almost the size of a tennis ball. So you can get between 6 and 9, okay, out of this dough. So just keep working it. And if you want to have them the exact same size, then get out your scales. We've got a really great little scales that we like to use right here. So now we're at 2, 4, 6. Looks like we're going to get 8 out of this today. So this is about perfect. Now over here we have our little round balls that have risen. Now I'm going to show you the next step.
Okay.
So,
gosh, there's so many questions. You guys, we want to get to all of these. Okay. How do you guys stay so skinny eating so much bread?
We never sit down. Unfortunately,
she's way skinnier than me, though. She has better genetic. I swear.
No, stop it. No, we never. This is kind of our life. It's
non-stop,
great.
crazy
it's
town.
It's non-stop. We never sit down.
She really never sits down. This is Energizer Bunny. I feel like I have a little bit of it, which, to most people, they think it's crazy, but I have nothing like her. She has a ton of energy, but yeah, we go nonstop.
We watch our portion control. We eat. We don't miss a meal. So we don't miss a meal. If you do, you'll never be able to make it to the next meal. So that's rule number 1, never miss a meal.
And we don't like snacking. That's good for some people, but no, we don't. Okay, keep going.
We made sure to never get into the habit of snacking. We have a snack in the afternoon.
Oh, it's a
before
treat.
dinner. And it's a little treat or something, most every day.
Most every day it's a treat for me.
Yeah, most every day.
It's a cookie or something.
But it's just moving, it's cleaning, it's cooking.
And you're just not eating too much of it. You're not eating too much of it.
We're sharing a sandwich. We're sharing a sandwich if we're at Kneaders or a special Whole Foods or anywhere. We're sharing a sandwich. But if we're at Cafe Rio or somewhere, we're having our own taco.
Yeah, yesterday we got our own chicken taco.
But if it's a big burrito, we're sharing it.
Yeah.
Or if it's a big salad, we're sharing it.
If you really just start watching your portion size, it's a game changer.
It's all it is.
That's all it is.
It's all it is.
You can be eating whatever you want, whenever you want. Give your body what you're craving. If you're craving the treat, eat the treat. Then put it in the freezer the way that I did, so you don't have it sitting out on the counter to eat 50,000 cookies. Do you know what I mean?
My favorite all-time lunch is I'm at home sitting at my little round table in my 2 chairs that come up to it with a sandwich.
You guys, we talk so much, it's ridiculous.
Anyway, that's my favorite.
We talk
with
so
a few
much.
chips. Okay, so let's go. Let's go and roll this out. So
what casserole did we make? I don't know. You mean yesterday?
No.
I need a good grinder for the salt. What do you recommend?
There's so many salt grinders. Rural Market has a really inexpensive one that says
okay, look
salt.
what somebody just said. This is crazy. I have lost 10 pounds following their food plan.
Yes!
I mean,
we tell everybody that.
Do you get how many times we actually get that? I mean, that is not the first time.
Oh, so many.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That is the truth. That is the truth.
Through the years, one of our dearest friends called me years ago, and she said, Liz, do you promise if I stop eating out and just start cooking like you're saying 5 nights a week that I will lose weight? And she said, I need to lose 60 pounds. And I said, I promise. Portion control, push your plate back when you're satisfied. You can eat everything you love and crave, plenty of vegetables.
That's amazing, whoever that is, Lindsay.
Not too many sweets, of course. And she lost her 60 pounds. How long was it? 4 months or 5?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's
gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. I saw her not too long ago.
And guess what? If you do it the right way, which it's like, I just had my 4th kid. I put on close to 60 pounds, which is ridiculous, but I swear my body just does that. We all, my sisters, everybody. But when you actually lose weight the right way too, it might take you a little longer, but yeah, it stays off. It's not one of those impulse flash diets that you're in and maybe lose like 20 pounds in a week, but this is why we call it a lifestyle.
Exactly.
This is why this is a lifestyle.
Exactly.
And honestly, we crave for our dinner. Like, we can't wait for it. That's why we have a small little breakfast. Okay, we talk forever.
I know. We're going off the subject. We shouldn't. Okay.
What do you cover the balls with?
Okay, so that's another damp cloth. So with the balls were covered with another damp cloth.
You guys, there is no way we're going to be able to answer all of this.
Okay, here.
I've lost weight because cooking your simple meals are healthier than eating out.
Yes, because you know how much butter you're using. You know how much cream is in it. When we eat out, oftentimes, if there's something that's so fabulous and so delicious, it's got so much butter and so much cream. But our recipes have some cream and some butter when it comes to that. And with our variety of food in the theme nights, it makes it so you're eating so healthy.
Yes, it's
a
fabulous.
lifestyle.
Okay, go. What did you
Okay,
cover the balls
so,
with?
well,
She covered it with a dish towel.
Yeah, a dish towel. Another, I was taught to do it with a damp dish towel.
Again?
Yes.
On this?
Yes.
Okay,
covering the
so
balls.
you're doing a damp on both,
Okay.
I guess.
But now we rolled this out, and this is sort of the shape that we want because this is the shape of naan. Now we're going to come over here, Lizzie. Take your screen. We're going to show you. So if you don't have like a pancake griddle,
so we've already rubbed some olive oil down. This is really dark right here.
uh-oh. Well, go ahead.
Maybe you want to turn it more.
Hopefully they can see it.
It's
that's
really
good.
dark.
That's good.
We've got.
So we have the pancake griddle at 350.
So you're just gonna rub some olive oil on the top. It's best to use a brush. Like this. Okay, so now what?
Yeah, and now we're gonna
Now
let
we just
it-
wait for it to cook, then flip it over.
It's about 2 minutes on each side. So I'm gonna make another one over here.
Is it the true way that they add butter on top of it? The way, you know, because I like it with butter.
Oh yes,
They want to see this too,
sure,
Mom.
I know. I was gonna say the non-restaurant. In the
So show them the shape again that you're rolling it. You're
Yeah.
going like long ways.
And you can even do your pizzas long ways if you want. But this is kind of the traditional naan that they do in the Indian restaurants. They roll it super thin, and it about a foot long, and super thin. And then you can get it all different ways. I love mine, even at the Indian restaurant, smothered in butter, or sometimes what they do is they serve the white sauce that you can dip in, or their red sauce, and I love that too. But I also love it with butter, and that's how I like to serve it, with a special salad.
So this is a really fun alternative bread for a friend's lunch. I'm gonna actually start talking a little more about that. But anyways, this is just a really great different bread that you want to serve with your salad and with what else? You were gonna say
maybe some meat, some lamb chops,
some lamb chops,
some lamb, some steak.
I wish I could eat all the yummy bread. If you do the cup for cup from Williams Sonoma, that works on every
You can make
recipe.
any of our
You can make
recipes.
any of our bread recipes, and that's actually yummy.
With cup for cup.
That's
it's
actually
so
good.
delicious. You can make our pizza, our bread. That's the only
You're
one
out of
that.
the camera, Mom.
Okay, that's okay. I'm coming back. I'm just gonna get another one on the grill here.
Okay, so we'll just show. We flipped it. So this is the best way that you like to do it, right? Is on this kind of a grill.
Yes. This is what, even the little, I wish I could pronounce her name, but I can't, so I'm not going to try. But even she showed me that this is how she often cooks her roti and everything. And
Oh yeah, she said so good with hummus. Yeah, it's to die for
and
with
this,
hummus.
Yes, this is so delicious with hummus. But again, everybody, it needs to be fresh. This needs to be fresh because it will harden up. The next day, yes, you can put it in the oven and cover it, heat it on like 300 for 30 minutes or whatever to bring it back, but it needs to be fresh. It's just not going to be the same the next day. It needs to be fresh. So here we are over here cooking this. Oh gosh, I'm going out of the camera. We almost have one finished. And let's see. About 2 minutes on either side. And we have some butter that I just, when I make this at home, we just love it with butter. Hummus is another great option.
Hummus is amazing. Okay, so
This is about
Mom, we've
okay.
been going
Okay,
for
okay.
like
This
30
is about done.
minutes.
This is hot. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a little bit of butter, just like this, on this. And Lizzie, I want you to taste it.
You taste it too. I love it. I'll eat a whole one myself.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's so good.
But just like in your Indian restaurant, it's fresh. And
Guess
that's
what?
it's
We're
gotta
doing
be.
another giveaway today.
Oh, yay! Okay.
With our friend, Mrs. Calls. So there is a giveaway with cookbooks today.
Does anybody have
It's going to be
questions?
a good one.
Does anybody have any questions about this?
Any questions?
Because we're going to go on.
We've gone too long again. What? Any questions? We're done.
Okay.
Show the 2 tips and you're done.
Okay. Our 2 tips today were for our pizza tonight. We're talking about doing on page 144 of the second book, our potato and ham pizza. So it shows right here the ham and then the potato. And basically, they're 2 of my favorite pizzas because they're so simple. I learned to do this in Italy, and this is how the Italians honestly eat pizza. They don't do it up crazy every single time they have pizza. So you using leftover ham and just putting some olive oil down or a little bit of red sauce and cutting the ham up and then some more olive oil, baking it. It's so delicious. The potato the same way. You can use a potato that's already been boiled or steamed, or you can use a raw potato. And that's what I wanted to show you super fast. With just olive oil on the bottom, add a little cheese, add a little fresh mozzarella if you want. But these are legitimate Italian pizzas that they're eating daily. And they're so delicious.
So you
They
don't
become my
have to do
favorite.
this. You don't have to do the naan bread with that flour. No, we did this with all-purpose flour.
No,
She's saying
no,
not
the
this
roti,
one.
the roti is made, and I tell you that on the page, that the roti is made with the authentic Indian wheat bread. But the naan bread we're just doing with our regular all-purpose flour. Now, if you do use regular wheat flour for it, just use less flour, okay? But of course you could use it. Now, this is an example of the ham that we're going to be using tonight, and it's left over, but it was yummy ham. We're going to be slicing this even a little bit thinner and putting it on our pizza. Here's a clean potato, and I'm going to show you right here. All you would do is, this one hasn't even been cooked, and all we do is just slice it as thin as we can possibly get it, just like this, slicing it as thin as we can possibly get it. And I don't even bother using, if I had a potato that had been steamed or boiled, I would definitely use it. I usually don't have it, and so this is perfect. We're just putting these potato slices right on top of the dough, a little bit of olive oil down, these thin potato slices right on top of the dough, a little more olive oil, of course our French salt and pepper, and a little bit of mozzarella cheese. Honestly, it's one of my favorites. And of course, Cute Holly showed me how she put the kale with it. And so it's one of my all-time favorites. But that's the pizza that we'll be eating tonight.
Okay,
that
we're
we'll
done.
be making.
We're done.
Okay,
We're
let's
done.
just show our last tip.
Let's
Should
do
we
it in an Instagram story.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Okay, guys, we're gonna go.
Goodbye.
Okay.
Make the naan bread. Make the pizza tonight.
Okay, see you soon.
Oh, keep cooking. Your family is worth it. Don't forget it. Okay, bye.